Welcome back to the battle camp. God, I thought I was done for the day. And then I see Boxing Social uploaded an interview with our friend Shelly Finkel. And obviously I made a video, I didn't make an interview, I made a video about an interview that Shelly Finkel had with Talksport yesterday. And that got a lot of you lot talking. And this interview that he did with Rob Tebbutt was of a similar ilk to what he said to the guys that talk sport. There were a couple of little nuggets of information that he gave in this interview that were slightly different. So I'm just going to kind of focus on those. I'll put a link. I'll put a link to the actual interview that he had with Boxing Social in the description of this video. But the things that I wanted to talk about was, this is the first thing. So Shelly Finkel has kind of taken this position of, we don't want to be dictated to by Eddie Hearn. We don't want to be made offers. We want to sit down at the table with you, Eddie Hearn, and negotiate a fight. Which makes sense, I suppose. But then you could argue, in order for a negotiation to start, in order for two parties to feel comfortable to come to the table and start talking, there needs to be some dialogue first to say, right, this is what we want, this is what we want. Okay, let's get together and we can maybe hash out a deal. So where Eddie Hearn has recently been sending these offers and they've been ignored, from Shelly Finkel's point of view, those offers have been inadequate, not good enough. So they don't deserve a response. Now, my belief is, this isn't because the numbers that have been discussed in these offers are good enough for Deontay Wilder. This is being driven entirely by ego and a personal problem between Shelly Finkel and Eddie Hearn. And that's not good for us, the fans, because ultimately, although it's quite fun to listen to these guys go back and forth, if it doesn't end in them two fighting, it will just be a massive, massive waste of time for fucking all of us. If you're a fan of either Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and you would rather the fight didn't happen because the guy that you support doesn't get as much of the purse that you think they deserve, go fuck yourself. Because these guys are making millions and millions of pounds or dollars wherever you live. And it doesn't personally affect you if your guy makes 5 million less than you think they deserve. But anyway, back to Shelly Finkel. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but anyway. So Shelly Finkel basically said they don't want to be dictated to, they don't want to be sent offers, they want to sit down at a table and negotiate with Eddie Hearn. And the reason why he hasn't been responding to Eddie Hearn's emails of offers is because the offers that are coming in aren't adequate. They're inadequate. The thing that I wanted to touch on is Rob Tebbutt actually asked him this question, and I've been wanting someone to ask Shelly Finkel this question, and it's, do you think you've personally done enough to negotiate a deal for this fight to happen? And Shelly Finkel's response was, yes, I'm very secure and I'm very happy with what we've done to try and make this fight happen. And I'm not buying that. I'm not. Because you've got one guy sending these offers and you've got another guy ignoring these offers. Now, for me, I can understand if these offers aren't in the ballpark of what you want, you're not going to accept them. But at the same time, you can make a counter offer. You can say, look, I see what you're saying there, and I understand the splits that you're talking, but we don't want these splits. This is what we want. Now, if you're willing to discuss what we want, then let's sit down and talk. By ignoring him, how can you be secure in your efforts to make the fight. That doesn't make sense to me at all. The other thing that I want to touch on is, in this interview, he said himself that we believe we overpaid Tyson Fury because we wanted to make this fight happen. He also touched on the fact that when Joshua fought for the IBF title against Martin, he said they wanted that fight to happen, so they went out and made it happen. Basically saying they overpaid Martin. So effectively, to me, what he's saying is they, as in Finkel and Wilder, want to be overpaid to fight Joshua. One of the things that he also mentioned was the fact that the fight between Fury and Wilder basically put those two guys on the same level as Anthony Joshua. This isn't a fact. I'm sorry, it's not. Anthony Joshua is way above them in terms of the kind of revenue that he can create. And there's plenty of factual evidence that you can look at yourself that backs up that statement. Plenty. It's really beginning to bug me that these guys are letting their own egos get in the way of this fight from happening. But it's more than ego. I think Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder have lost track of the fact that, yes, it's a business, but it's also a sport. And I genuinely don't believe they care to show the world that Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight on the planet. The offers that have come in from Eddie Hearn, from a financial point of view, will secure Deontay Wilder the biggest payday he's ever had. And they're ignoring these offers, or they're declining these offers, because they effectively want to be overpaid. So it's just all about the money. It's not about the sport of it. It's not about seeing who the best fighter in the world is. But the sad thing here is the money they're being offered is still more than they're going to earn fighting any other fighter on this planet. There's not one single fight that can be made where they can secure a bigger payday than what's being offered to them right now by Eddie Hearn. That's a fact. But they are basically saying that Eddie Hearn and Joshua, it's not the Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua show. We're not being dictated to them. We're not being dictated to by them. And we believe we're worth X amount. Where he's basically used two examples of opponents being overpaid. So by proxy, he's basically saying we want to be overpaid. They always talk about how, and this isn't just Shelly Finkel, Frank Warren does the same thing, about how greedy Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn are. They want everything off the table and want to leave us crumbs. But when the crumbs that you call crumbs, quote unquote crumbs, are worth more than any of your two guys have earned in a single fight in the entire career, they're not really crumbs, are they? It's frustrating listening to all of this stuff because as a fan, you want to see the fight. You want to see these two get in the ring, and you want to see who the undisputed heavyweight world champion is. And at the moment, it feels like, yeah, obviously it's a business and there's a lot of money involved, But the only guy that actually wants to prove that he's the best heavyweight in the world at this moment in time is Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury had an opportunity to fight Deontay Wilder for the WBC championship, but he decided to not take that opportunity and sign with ESPN. Why? Because of the financial gain he was going to make. Deontay Wilder is being offered the most money he's ever going to make in a single fight, the biggest purse he's ever going to earn. And he's not taking that opportunity because why? They want more money. What happened to just fighting to show you're the best fighter? And I know this is a bit of a simple way of looking at things because I'm a fan of the sport, but you can't call Joshua and Eddie Hearn greedy when you've basically just told us you're being greedy yourself. You've got to meet in the middle somewhere. And why haven't you gone out? Why haven't you gone out to Eddie Hearn and Joshua and made an offer and said, look, all right, this is what you're offering. Here's a deal that we can put together if we fight on Showtime. This is what we're offering. They don't have the money to do it. And before people start saying, oh, Al Heyman's got millions and millions and millions of dollars, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know he's got good financial backing, and I know he's got, you know, he's a multi-millionaire, and he's a savvy businessman. But business is about making more money than you're paying out. And the model that these guys are using with Showtime, etc., I don't think they have the finances to compete with the offers that are coming from DAZN and Eddie Hearn. You guys have to remember, DAZN is a global entity. They've taken over markets in different countries across the world. They're massive in Asia. They're massive in parts of Europe. They're not just winning rights for boxing, they're winning rights for football in Europe. They screen all of the football in Italy. They've got huge, vast amounts of money. They're not just operating in the States. They've only just started operating in the States. They've been there less than a year. What, less than 6 months perhaps? Obviously it takes time to build, and the way they're going to build it is by using the funds that they've generated in other countries to plow into boxing to get the subscribers. But that's not going to last forever. So it isn't an unlimited pot of money that they have. Shelly Finkel and Wilder and everyone, all of them guys, they need to get real and start recognizing that now's the time to make the fight. And if they leave it too long, it might just fall by the wayside. And if that happens, Wilder's legacy won't be what it could have been, and his bank balance won't be what it should have been. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below as usual. Please hit the thumbs up button, share this with one of your mates, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of March, and you know what? I broke 50 today, and that was a pleasant surprise. So my next target is 60, so hopefully in the next few videos we can get there. Thanks for watching my stuff, and I'll see you next time.